Think for a moment about a cuisine that just, well, it whispers of ancient traditions through its smells, where these vibrant colors on a plate really tell a story.
Mm-hmm.
That's Persian cuisine. And today, we're diving deep into one dish that just captures this magic perfectly. Zereshk Polo.
Ah, yes, Barbary rice with chicken.
Exactly. And this came from you, our listener, someone wanting to really get to grips with this iconic meal quickly, but, properly.
Right. You're curious about what makes it the key ingredients, how they all fit together, but without feeling overwhelmed by like super technical stuff.
Yeah.
So we looked at a great mix of sources, personal blog recipes, full of family tips, and also some really insightful culinary analyses, all about this dish.
Okay, so our mission is pretty clear then. We're going to unpack this beautiful dish piece by piece.
Flavorful piece by flavorful piece.
Ah, yes. Look at what makes each part special, how it's made, and maybe touch on why it's such a big deal in Iranian culture.
And hopefully do it in a way that feels more like we're just chatting about it, not, reading a textbook.
Definitely. Okay, so where do we start? Maybe with the absolute jewel, the saffron, that incredible scarlet thread, so important in Persian cooking.
Oh, absolutely.
Hmm.
Saffron, it's more than just a spice here. It's a symbol, isn't it? Luxury flavor.
Mm.
And what's truly amazing is the sheer work involved in harvesting it. I mean, each little crocus flower, only 3 tiny stigmas.
3.
Yeah, and they have to be hand-picked.
Yeah.
Imagine needing, what, up to 200,000 flowers for just half a kilo of saffron.
Wow. Okay, that intense labor really explains why it's so precious. Suddenly makes that little pinch feel very valuable.
Doesn't it just, and there's a real quality difference too, depending on which bit of the flower you actually get.
Right, I read about that.
Yeah, the really top grade stuff is just those deep red stigmas. Lower grades might mix in the yellow styles, which frankly don't offer nearly as much flavor or that amazing color.
Right.
And in Persian cooking, saffron does so much. It's not just for that beautiful golden color. It has this unique, slightly sweet, earthy flavor. Really lists everything from stews and kebabs to, well, even desserts like Persian ice cream.
So if you're investing in good saffron, you really want to make the most of it. What are the sort of insider tips for getting the best out of it?
Right, well, how you prep it makes a huge difference. Best to gently grind the threads yourself.
Okay.
A pestle and mortar is traditional, works great, or, a clean spice grinder. But the real secret, I think, is blooming it.
Blooming.
Yeah, you steep the ground saffron in a little bit of warm water, not boiling, just warm for maybe 5–10 minutes before you use it. That warm water just helps release all the color and those volatile flavor compounds, wakes them up, basically, so they spread through the dish better.
Right, like coaxing the essence out.
Exactly. And it means you can use a bit less saffron, but still get a really good punch of flavor and color. Stretches it further.
That's a great tip. Very useful. And where should you actually buy good quality saffron? Any recommendations from the sources?
They consistently point towards Iranian saffron as, like, the gold standard.
Okay.
So if you can find Iranian or Middle Eastern food shops, that's probably your best bet for the real deal.
Makes sense.
And once you've got it, store it properly. Airtight container, dark, cool, dry place. Helps keep it potent.
Got it. Now we have to talk about Tahdig, that incredible crispy rice bottom. It's legendary. I remember reading something specific about saffron and Tahdig.
Ah, yes. That's a lovely little tradition. Many Iranian cooks believe that to really get the soul of the saffron for Tahdig,
The soul. I love that.
yeah, you should bloom it with water that's been boiled, but then left to cool down just a bit.
Oh, interesting. Why?
The idea is that water at a rolling boil might be too harsh, might diminish those really delicate saffron notes. It's a small thing, but it says so much about the care involved.
It really does. Treating even a spice with that much respect.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Let's talk about the other star of Zereshk Polo. The barberries. Those little tiny jewels.
Zereshk. Yes, they're fantastic. They give this amazing burst of tangy, tart flavor, sometimes a little hint of sweetness or citrus under it all. And what's so great in Zereshk Polo is how that sharpness just cuts through the richness of the rice and the chicken. Creates this beautiful balance.
So they're mainly savory then?
Mostly, yeah. In rice pilafs, stews. But sometimes you might find them popping up in baking too, for a bit of a surprise.
But I was quite intrigued. Apparently they have health benefits too.
Oh yeah, the sources definitely highlighted that. Packed with antioxidants, vitamin C, kind of superfood status,
Right.
Traditionally, they've been linked with things like fighting infection, helping digestion, maybe good for blood sugar, heart health. even cleansing the liver and gallbladder, apparently.
Wow, so delicious and potentially good for you. Nice combo. Now, they usually come dried, don't they? How do you prep them?
That's right, usually dried.
Hmm.
So you need to rehydrate them before cooking. Standard way is just soaking them in cold water for about 20 minutes or so.
Oh.
Plumps them up, but also gets rid of any little bits of dust or grit.
And in the dish itself, how are they typically used?
Well, the most common way, and it looks amazing, is as a garnish scattered over the rice.
Ah, the bright red bits.
Exactly. Usually you gently saute the soaked berries in butter, often with a little bit of sugar too, which creates this lovely sweet tart element.
Butter and sugar. Sounds good.
Yeah, one method is just sauteing them like that, lowish heat, till they puff up a bit and get really bright red and glossy. Another way is to saute them briefly with finely diced onions that have been cooked down really slowly in butter until they're super golden and sweet.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So you've got a choice there. Add sugar for sweetness or get it from those lovely caramelized onions.
Precisely. Depends on your preference, the balance you want. You can usually track down dried barberries in Persian or Middle Eastern shops, maybe Indian supermarkets sometimes, and online, of course.
Yeah. And if you absolutely can't find them,
Dried cranberries are often suggested as a sub, but just remember they're quite a bit sweeter and less tart, so it changes the flavor profile.
good to know.
Oh, and sources also mention Zereshk black barberries from Kermanshah, less tart, darker color. Interesting variation.
Fascinating. Always these regional differences. Okay, foundation time. The rice. Basmati seems non-negotiable.
Absolutely essential. Basmati is the rice for authentic Persian dishes. It's got those lovely long grains, that distinct aroma,
Right.
and when you cook it the Persian way, you get these beautiful, separate, fluffy strands. That texture is really key.
And that Persian way, it's more involved than just boiling, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's a proper four-step process,
Yeah.
all designed for that perfect texture.
Okay, walk us through it.
First, you wash the rice really well. Cold water, rinse, rinse, rinse until the water runs clear. Gets rid of excess starch so it doesn't clump.
Right, the sticky stuff.
Then soaking. You soak the washed rice in salted water for at least half an hour, maybe longer. Helps the grains cook evenly, absorb water, and they get longer and less likely to break.
Okay, washing, soaking.
Third step is boiling. Fresh water. Boil it until it's parboiled. Like pasta al dente cooked on the outside, still a little firm bite in the middle.
Al dente rice. Got it.
Then finally you drain it and steam it gently, usually in the same pot, but often with a clean tea towel or a special cloth tucked under the lid.
Ah, the towel trick? Why the towel?
It absorbs the excess steam, stops condensation dripping back onto the rice and making it soggy.
Clever, eh?
Very clever. I've also seen basmati labeled extra long grain. Is that better for this?
It can be, yeah. Those varieties give you even longer, more separate grains after cooking. Looks very elegant.
Where to buy? Supermarkets.
Most big UK supermarkets have decent basmati now. But if you use a lot, checking out Middle Eastern or Asian supermarkets for bulk bags is often much better value.
Good tip. And storage is just pantry, right? Yep. Cool, dry, pantry, airtight container. Simple. Oh, and just a quick distinction. Cello is the plain steamed rice you get with stews or kebabs. Polo, like our Zereshk Polo, means the rice is cooked with other ingredients mixed in.
Chalam and polo. Got it. Okay. Another key spice that crops up everywhere in savory Persian food seems to be turmeric.
Turmeric, yeah. Definitely a workhorse. It's in the ginger family, usually used as the ground powder, though you see fresh root more now too.
And it's known for that color.
That intense orange-yellow color. And yes, be warned, it likes to stain things.
Huh. Noted. And the flavor?
It's quite earthy, a bit musky, maybe slightly bitter, but beyond the flavor, it's really famous for its anti-inflammatory properties. Another superfood, really.
And in Persian cooking, how is it typically used?
Loads of ways, but especially with meat and poultry. Adds flavor, that lovely color, but it's also thought to mellow out any, strong, meaty smells, especially when you use it with onions and things.
Right, where can you find it?
Oh, turmeric's easy these days. Thanks to curries being so popular, pretty much any local supermarket will have it. Again, Asian supermarkets are great for bulk buys.
And keeping it fresh?
Cool, dry, airtight container, same as other spices. You'll know it's getting old if the color looks dull or the smell is weak. Time for a new jar then.
I could know those signs.
Ah.
Okay, let's shift gears to something completely different. Rose water. Adds such a delicate, almost perfumed note.
Rose water, yeah, it's really special. And ancient. Made by steam distilling rose petals. Used for centuries for food, medicine, even perfume.
Right.
Apparently, it's still used in the Middle East as a natural facial toner.
Really? Interesting. But in the kitchen?
It shines in sweets, mainly. Persian, Middle Eastern, Indian cuisines all use it. Think ice creams, cakes, biscuit. But it's also used subtly in savory dishes, especially descent rice. Gives that unique floral background note.
How would you describe that scent to someone who hasn't tried it?
Turkish delight. If you know that sweet floral smell, that's very close.
Ah, okay, good comparison. Where to buy?
Best to look for Iranian rosewater, if you can. Often considered the best quality. Iranian, Middle Eastern, Asian food shops are your best bet. Maybe larger supermarkets, too.
And store it.
Once it's open, keep it in the fridge. Helps preserve that delicate aroma.
Okay, fridge it is. So we've got our stars: saffron, barberries, basmati, turmeric, rosewater. How do they all come together in this amazing dish, Zereshk Polo Morgh?
Right, so Zereshk Polo basically weaves all these elements together beautifully. You get the fragrant saffron rice, those tangy barberry bursts, flavorful chicken, or often boosted by turmeric, maybe that hint of rosewater.
Sounds incredible, and it seems like a really important dish in Iran.
Oh, absolutely. It's on tables for everything from like a nice family meal to huge celebrations. Think Nowruz, Persian New Year, or big wedding feast. It's a real crowd pleaser.
And you'd serve it with other things usually.
Yeah, often part of a bigger spread. Maybe a soup to start, like soupe morgh zaftarani, that's a saffron chicken soup. Yeah. Or soupe jo, a barley soup. And usually a simple salad on the side.
Sounds like a proper feast. Is it really difficult to make compared to, say, some of the famous Persian stews?
Interestingly, no. The sources suggest it's actually considered fairly straightforward, concept-wise.
Oh.
Because the chicken is often cooked separately, maybe in a nice tomato saffron sauce, while the rice is steamed. That separation makes it quite practical if you're cooking for a lot of people.
Ah, okay. Manageable elegance. That's good. What about how it looks? The presentation always seems so stunning in photos.
Yeah, presentation is definitely key. You get that fluffy steamed rice piled up and then layered or topped with the bright sautéed barberries and those lovely golden fried onions. And often garnished with slivered almonds or pistachios, too. Adds a bit of crunch, looks beautiful.
And the chicken part, Morgh, are there different ways to cook the chicken for it?
Yes, lots of variations. Sometimes it's gently poached in a saffron broth, sometimes simmered in that rich tomato saffron sauce we mentioned. Or you might even serve the Zereshk Polo alongside grilled chicken skewers, juji kebab.
Oh, wow, options.
Yeah, one recipe we saw had chicken breasts, skin on, marinated, pan-fried for crispy skin, then finished in the oven so they stay juicy.
Sounds amazing.
Another used chicken thighs, simmered with turmeric, onion, saffron until tender, then baked with a tangy tomato and barberry sauce, kind of echoing the rice flavors.
So saffron really is everywhere in this dish, not just the rice.
Totally. It's infused in the rice, maybe bloomed and drizzled over, and often key in the chicken marinade or sauce. And of course, that crucial rice prep. Rinsing well for fluffiness, the double cook method, boiling, then steaming for texture.
Tahdig.
Tahdig, exactly.
And how do you get the saffron into the tahdig specifically?
Usually you take some of that parboiled rice, mix it gently with your bloom saffron water, maybe a bit of oil or yogurt, and layer that mixture on the bottom of the pot before adding the rest of the rice to steam. That creates the golden, crispy base.
Right. And the accompaniments? What else is typically on the table? You'll
often see fresh herbs, sabzi khorden, things like mint, basil, cilantro. Also torshi, which are mixed pickles.
Pickles.
A cooling yogurt and cucumber dip. Mastokir, and salad shirazi, that simple chopped tomato, cucumber, onion salad with lime juice. They all add freshness and acidity to cut through the richness.
Okay, let's go a bit deeper on tahdig. It really sounds like the holy grail of Persian cooking.
It pretty much is. It's that golden, crunchy layer of rice from the bottom of the pot. Getting it perfect, really golden, crispy all over, not burnt, is a real skill. And when it comes out right, everyone gets excited.
I bet. And it's not always just rice, right? I've seen photos with bread or potato.
That's right. While plain saffron rice tahdig is common, you can also make it by putting a layer of thin flatbread, like lavash, or thinly sliced potatoes on the bottom of the pot first. Adds a different texture, different flavor.
Interesting.
And even simpler rice cooking methods like kata, where the water just gets absorbed, can still give you a nice crispy bottom if you get the heat right.
We mentioned the slightly cooled boiled water for blooming the saffron for tahdig. Any other crucial tips for getting that perfect crisp?
Well, mixing some parboiled rice with that saffron water is key for the classic saffron tahdig look and taste. Getting the heat right during steaming is vital, usually low and steady. Patience helps. And sometimes adding a bit of extra oil or butter to the pot bottom encourages that crisping.
It really does sound like part art, part science, part luck, maybe?
Yes, the sources definitely suggest that. Practice, patience, maybe a bit of luck, and as one source nicely put it, a bit of love for the process.
Love for the Tahdig.
Exactly. But even an almost perfect Tahdig is still delicious and gets celebrated, often served proudly on its own plate alongside stews or kebabs. That's Celebratory.
Lovely. Now, just quickly before we wrap up, a couple of other terms popped up. Advi and kashk. What are those briefly?
Sure. Adi is basically Persian mixed spice, but the blend varies a lot by region, even by family.
Ah, like garam masala in India.
Exactly that kind of idea.
Yeah.
Adds fragrance, warmth, very versatile, sprinkle it on rice, add it to stews, use it in marinades.
A flavor booster.
Yeah.
And kash sounds unusual.
It is quite unique. It's made from fermented dairy, like sour milk or yogurt. Can be a tangy liquid or dried, and needs rehydrating. Sometimes the name refers to dried buttermilk, too.
Oh.
It's used across the Middle East, adds a real tangy, sometimes salty depth to dishes, especially soups and stews.
Right. Interesting ingredients. So, bringing it all back, Zereshk Polo Morgh is this amazing combination, isn't it? A real showcase of Persian cooking.
It really is. It shows how fairly simple, good quality ingredients combined with these thoughtful, traditional techniques create something truly special and satisfying. You've got the fragrant rice, the sharp barberries, the tasty chicken, those warm spices, and maybe that amazing crispy Tahdig bonus.
And it sounds like, yes, there are techniques, but it's actually quite an approachable dish if you want to explore Persian food. I definitely feel like I understand it much better now.
That's the goal, and hopefully you, our listener, feel that way too. Maybe even inspired to give Zereshk Polo Morgh a go.
Absolutely. You know, thinking about that balance in the dish, sweet, sour, savory, all working together, it really makes you wonder about other unexpected flavor combinations out there, doesn't it?
It does.
What other seemingly contrasting tastes could create something equally amazing? Maybe this deep dive will spark some curiosity for you to explore more, perhaps deeper into Persian cuisine or maybe other food traditions around the world.
Food for thought.
Definitely. Well, thanks so much for joining us on this really fragrant and flavorful deep dive into Zereshk Polo Morgh.